Hello, and welcome to the episode of Todd Talks. And Todd Talks, people listen. People keep asking me if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Hopefully. And yes, today we are going to be talking about the death battle that just aired between James Bond and John Wick. And yes, I lost. But guess what? I am going to complain so much. Alright, yes, this is actually going to be a very different kind of a death battle reaction because while I will talk about what I liked about this episode, I kind of wonder if Death Battle actually got this one wrong. I know, right? And I haven't done one like this in a very long time. In fact, the last one I honestly think I felt they got wrong was Tracer versus Scout, where I was livid about various things. So get your popcorn ready. This is going to be fun. All right, so yes, John Wick lost in a smashing fashion, and I want to talk about the animation first because there was a lot of people, including myself at first, like with the preview, wondering how the animation would look. It definitely was. I don't want to insult you, Luis, or your animation team, but there were definitely some janking moments, and especially at the beginning, after the first duel shot. Um, it just felt off at first. Now, when it picked up after the second conversation with the after the cigarette blast, it definitely got smoother, and there were definitely some really cool moments, like Wick getting shot twice and enduring and like pinning Bond to the pillar, and the bringing in the car to do the 360 turrets thing, reference to No Time to Die. That was really cool. The voice acting I thought was good. Nice job, Liam, on the cue. Oh, grow up, Bond. Um, Overall, I thought it was a fun episode. It's funny. I honestly think I only have one 3D fight in my top five currently, and which one was that? Oh, I think it was a. I didn't review it, but I really liked Excalibur versus Raiden. That was a really fun fight. Maybe Boba Fett Predator, maybe. Jotaro, not Jotaro. Jonathan Joestar, and Tanjiro. That was it. Tanjiro. That's still my top one. Um, this one had its moments, but what I really didn't like, outside of the result, obviously, was that I felt they almost tailored it to making it clear that James Bond won before Wick ever entered, because it started off small, but they kept saying the James Bond movies, which was cool. But then they were saying them during the John Wick section, and I'm like, why are they doing that? Are they like just clearly trying to make it clear that Bond wins and they don't really care about Wick and they just want to talk about Bond? And then at the end, Boomstick goes, "Oh, I need to get in all the movie references. Oh no, I forgot about Octopussy." Um, so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's like, oh yeah, I'm talking about John Wick, but oh, it's like watching the sky fall, and I'm like, what? It's this Quantum of Solace, what? And it definitely it felt off compared to other death battles. Like in other death battles, they'll reference the other combatants occasionally, but they don't usually intersect more than like a one-off joke. I can't remember one off the top of my head, but I know there was one where they go like, "Oh, where does that sound familiar?" in the second preview because we just heard it in the first one. Like that's cool because like, oh yeah, they're similar characters, but I don't need to hear about Quantum of Solace when we're listening to John Wick. All right, so now it's time for the ranting. Hope you haven't eaten all your popcorn. Why do I feel that Death Battle actually got this one wrong? And I'm not trying to do a debunked video. I have no interest in that. My complaint really comes down to one certain thing, one certain element, and I'm not honestly sure why they did this. Would be up for asking them, but I don't think they'll answer. I don't think they'll answer me. Um, it's the video games. The Death Battle rules state that the mainline source is always the primary canon, and then you can have supplemental stuff for if you can prove that it exists in the other canon. Not like with Mario versus Sonic, where they said the video games are the prime source, but they'll take the animes and the shows at times if they can prove it feasible. Like when they said that Sonic X is valid in certain ways because of how they depict Sonic's speed, like him doing the posing in front of the 10,000 frame camera. You know, that shows how fast he is, and that's valid as a comparison to show how good he is. My problem with using the games is that none of what we see, okay, not none, but none of the over the top superhero crap that we see that Boomstick constantly referenced, we don't see that in the movies. And it's definitely not referenced in the books. And the biggest ones that I want to point out are the bulletproof armor and the nano suit, which they referenced in the breakdown. I don't in the movies and in the books, it's stated that Bond doesn't wear bulletproof armor, and even Wiz said when he mentioned it, oh, he occasionally wears bulletproof armor. Occasionally, find me one movie that shows that he wore bulletproof armor. You can't. Okay, actually, I take back. There was one. Hold on. There was a protection suit that Pierce Brosnan wore, but that was a protection suit, not a bulletproof armor suit, and that was specifically because he was in a mountain and actually used to stop an avalanche. All right, which he would not wear in a standard situation. So that one does not count. I did know about that one in my research. The games are the ones that said that, oh, he has bulletproof armor, and that bothers me because even in the Craig movies, they show him getting shot multiple times, including in Skyfall, where he shot off the train, or whatever he was on, and you saw the bullet wounds in a later scene, showing that he was indeed shot, and it went through the suit. And then there was other shots where we see Craig and other Bonds with bulletproof bullet wounds, and that's the antithesis of Wick, where you see the scene where they make the bulletproof suit. And we technically, at times, you could argue, don't see just how tough that bulletproof armor is. And Wiz even says, oh, it gets worn down over time. Well, that's a lot different from John Wick's, where it don't wear down at all. And again, the games, are they really canon? Because, I mean, you can go full tilt in a video game. We've seen it all the time. Oh, he has a suit that makes him invisible. Then why doesn't he have that in the movies? Don't you think that would be useful in, like, every Bond movie ever? And there were other things that they took from the games. It's like, why would you do that? Now, the car thing, I will admit that I missed. I knew that there was, the variety of cars and everything, but I didn't realize that in the Pierce Brosnan movies he had a remote control. I did not, unlike Liam, I did not watch all the James Bond movies before this. I wanted to watch all the John Wick ones, but I wasn't going to watch 24 films, and I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. Okay, so putting that to the side. Another thing I didn't like was that, and this is something that the G1 blog referenced for the record, so I'm not just pulling this out of my hat. I don't agree that James Bond is a quicker draw than Wick or more accurate. They even said, like, oh, he's got more precise aim. Does he now? Does he now? They said that Wick has never had to dodge gunfire, except in the G1 blog, they note, and I saw this in other wikis too, there are examples of him dodging gunfire, including fighting a bad guy who dodged gunfire after the bullets had been fired, and Wick beat him. So why couldn't... So, yeah. And they said, like, oh, he's also dodged, like, lasers and lightning, which is outliers. I'm like, then if it's outliers, and it's just... That rubbed me the wrong way. And then they said, like, the gadgets. And I know that the gadgets are supposed to be the thing that Bond would use to win, but I have problems with that for a very simple reason. And that though this is a death battle, and they clearly say, oh, he, has it all on, kind of like a Batman kind of thing. You believe it when Batman has it on him. I don't believe that in a death battle, and remember, they're not supposed to know each other, despite what that opening scene showed up, they do not know each other in context. Um, Bond wouldn't have some of these gadgets. The wristwatch laser, I will grant you. The pen, I would grant you. But some of the others, I don't believe he would have. And they keep saying like, oh, yeah, but there's no way Wick would be prepared for his gadgets. He wouldn't care. In one of the scenes in the animation, I know that the animation is not the definitive form of the battle, but I want to bring it up anyway. Um, Wick is like bantering with Bond. You know, what is MI6 want with me? And Bond is like, we don't mind me having granting a man last smoke. He would mind, and he'd shoot him. All right, he has John or Bond in his sights. He would kill him in that moment. There is no doubt in my mind. All right, and for proof of this, you need to only look at John Wick 1. Theon Greyjoy, or whatever his name is in the movie, it's Tassarov, I know. He was gonna, do the whole like begging for his life, and did John care? No, bang, right there. He walks up to him, he kills him, and he leaves, not a single word. Wick talks when he wants to talk, and only then. He didn't talk with any of the other assassins that were trying to kill him outside of Zero. All right, and that was because Zero like demanded conversation with him, and even then, Wick was like stopping him, and it's like, he's letting him ramble because he doesn't care. And once the fight was on, there was no talking. All right, and so you could say like, oh, Bond would whip out a gadget, and Wick wouldn't be prepared for it. Yeah, because Wick could be lining up a headshot. All right, because in my opinion, if we're going by the death battle animation, the moment that they do the crosshairs, or the first shot where they show off their bulletproof armor, which again, I don't feel Bond actually has bulletproof armor as proven by the books and the movies. Wick would go for the headshot right then and there. He would not dance around it. And you can say, oh, but Bond's dodged bullets. And so has Wick. There is proof of that. There was proof of that. I know, I saw it in like the G1 blog and the wikis I saw. He's dodged gunfire, and all you have to do is line up one really good shot, which I know he could do, and Wick's done, or Bond's done. And so he wouldn't have time to call the car. He wouldn't have time to, pull out a thing of toothpaste to detonate. All right, he would not have the time. So, and then for Bond, yes, he could shoot Wick in the head. There's no disputing that. Again, they have an instant kill move, both of them. They do, but I honestly feel still that Wick would pull it off more easily than Bond would. Clearly, Death Battle disagrees, and if I ever get to meet them, I would love to have a light and fan-friendly conversation about this. Hey, they've admitted that they're wrong before multiple times. All right, Link versus Cloud, Mario and Sonic. They've done redos, and even admitted that they've done wrong stats before. Like if you remember Captain Marvel versus Android 18, they've admitted that they've done wrong. I feel here in this scenario that they have given Bond too much, just because of his various properties, versus John Wick, who has fewer properties and is much more straightforward, and thus it's easier to say, oh, well, he hasn't. I didn't like the thing like, oh, Bond has handled assassins like him before. There is no one like John Wick. All right, he's like, oh, he fought Jaws and Oddjob. Yeah, those were behemoths that had super strength. All right, like literal beyond human strength. Wick has superior strength, but he's not exactly superhuman outside of his endurance and indomitable will. And there's no one like John Wick. All right, I mean, they even say in his thing, his martial arts were designed to have efficiency and minimal effort. That's how John kills people, minimal effort. Bond sometimes goes to the ends of the earth because the world is not enough. See, now I'm doing it. To get the victory, because he has to do this at times due to some of the opponents he's facing. He's facing an equal in many ways with John Wick, and John would go for the kill immediately, whereas Bond, I honestly feel, would not in that immediate moment. So Yeah, I have feelings. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. But all right. And the next time, yes, I'm done. Okay, I don't hate this death battle. I do not hate death battle. Love this show, but as I was telling a wrestling friend last night, it's okay to voice an opinion that is contrary to what people believe, so long as you are fair about it. I am open to discussing this with you, my listeners, or with Death Battle. I know they want to answer me. They got better things to do with their time, but I'm just voicing that I feel that they did a little too much here to give Bond the edge, where I really feel that if we're taking this at the core lore, which is the movies and the books for Bond, because not all the movies are made off the books, Wick would win because Bond would not have the protection to go up against Wick, and the gadgets I feel are less useful than they were letting on. So, ending it there, and we're moving on. Because next time on Death Battle, we have a matchup many people, including myself, are wanting. It's Black Adam versus Apocalypse, which is perfect because the upcoming movie with The Rock is coming. So, timing! So, who is going to win? Y'all are just going to have to wait for my preview video for that. So, with that, I am ending this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think about James Bond versus John Wick? And please tell me you agree with me on my... I'm kidding. Let me know what you thought of the result. What were your feelings on the fight? And what do you think about Black Adam versus Apocalypse? So, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening. And I'll be seeing you, John. Sure.